Monopoly experience. If you don't know what it is, you're in luck. I will bless you with this knowledge on what is Monopoly. It's basically a board game where you have to buy property, and not only that, but here's the kicker. You could charge what rent if people land on your property. So the objective is everyone has to be bankrupt, and you're the last one standing. That's how you win. It's yo, yo, yo. I should probably have not removed those torches. Whoopsies. But hey, we'll just forget about that. Because it's just, if I don't see it, then it just doesn't exist. That's how it works. I don't make the rules. Now, something you should know is I don't play around with board games. It's do or die. I have to win. It doesn't matter who, doesn't matter where, doesn't matter when, not even how. Last year for New Year's, I was hanging with my cousins for New Year's, and we played Monopoly for a good like three, no, 3 to 4 hours straight. I think we probably did more, but I couldn't say for certain. Just straight up playing Monopoly. And yeah, we don't play around. They don't play around. The cousins don't play around either. I mean, my brother, he's like, I don't think he's as competitive as me and the cousins, but he's there. He's existing, you know. There's something worth pointing out. When you get all colors and you complete the color set, you'll be able to put houses on it. And what you can do with it is when people land on your property, you could be able to charge more. That means more money. That means making them more poor. Uh-huh. Yeah. And you can even go up to like a hotel, which is like the max you can go. And there's also an auction feature. So if you don't feel like buying, it's auctioned. And what you have to do is you have to put the amount you're gonna put. It's there for like less than 10 seconds. And whoever gets it gets it. Now the older cousin landed on a red property. No, it was an orange property, yeah. And that was the last one she needed. Now, oh no. And this was bad. I had two green and two light blue. Now, I wanted to complete the sets, but they were both in the possession of the other, of the older cousin and the younger cousin. Now, I kind of wanted to get into trading since I had a pink that the younger cousin had to complete the set, but she had a green that would help me complete the set. So I make an offer. I say, hey, would you be interested in trading my green for, wait, what was the trade? It was my green, wait a minute, my pink for your green. That sounds like a fair trade. But she was like, no, since the green is, completing a green set is much better than completing a pink set, and she kind of valued that more. So she was like, I will accept it if you give me two railroads and that. I was like, bro, I'm not taking that deal. None of us have even built houses yet. Oh, but actually, other person has, and that's my brother. he he completed the brown set, but the brown set kind of sucks since it's a when you just get a brown set, it only charges like $2. So you can only imagine how much it's gonna charge at the end with the hotel. Maybe like 50, maybe less, who knows. And also barely any people land on the Browns, so that's just another reason why it isn't very worth it. But at least he has something. At least he can actually start building. Me and the younger cousin are just I'm trying to trade, but she's like no. I'm like, okay, fine. Maybe she'll agree when she's like in a more dire stance. Now, not too long later, the older cousin has all four houses, which it costs too much for us to handle because we don't even have houses to build off of. So I'm pleading to the younger cousin to actually trade with me because look we're both going to lose this if we don't trade with each other. But for some reason, he had like some sentimental value to the green card. That's like the last one I needed to complete my set. And for some reason, she's just asking for more. She says, "Okay, I'll give it if you give me plus your two railroads plus $300." Now, I was I only had like 100, maybe less than 100 on me. I was not going to be able to afford it, even if I wanted to take it. So she says, "Okay, come back when you have more money." But lucky for me, not too long after, I I land on a go, and what it does, it just when you pass it, it gives you just a good free $200. It's basically a blessing in disguise. Not even disguise. It's just a blessing. So when I have 300, okay, I ask her, okay, can we trade? And and then she just asks for more. She's like, okay, when you have a little more money, because like right when she wants to trade with me, she's gonna immediately buy more property. Now, this is meh. I feel like I was getting the short end of the stick, but listen, I was desperate. I needed to build my property because I am not surviving if I land on one of the orange properties. Now, luckily for me, I I do. Let me just. Eventually, she agreed. Okay, yeah, let's trade because, and the only reason why she did is when she landed on the orange property. Because the funny thing is, on like the many times I was denied from getting the trade, she was like, "I have a good feeling." Okay, I have a good feeling. A good feeling what? What is this hopeful thinking? I just wonder if a doctor ever had an operation on a person and they're asking like, "Doc, what's going on here? Are they gonna make it?" And the doctor says, "Oh, I have a good feeling." That doesn't say anything. What do you mean? What do you mean? Now, so after like most of her money was diminished from, she had to sell like majority. not mortgage. Yeah, she had the mortgage majority of her property besides the pink in her railroad. So she was in desperate position, and she was still being stingy on get, getting those two railroads as well. I was like, you know what, fine. Just just give me the damn card. And she said, because the weird thing is, I don't know why she viewed me as a threat, as a potential threat when I grow my property. When right when I do the trade, I give all of my money to her, which is not even fair. And I tell her when there's only one way to beat a greedy capitalist, and it's with another greedy capitalist. And that kind of aged poorly since right, I'd say a good two turns later, I land on a maxed out property which cost a good $900. And I just knew I was screwed. And I just hear the older cousin laughing. When the older cousin had about like four houses on each of the properties, the younger cousin like, guys, we need to do something about this. And I slowly look at her with my eyes squinted because I was trying to make the trade this whole time, about a good four times before she said that. And I just slowly looked back at the game like I'm just done. I'm done. I Now I didn't want to mortgage something. So I decided to trade. I would give my one red property to the older cousin, which would which would give her another set, and she would be able to build houses. In exchange, she would give me. Do you mind? In exchange, she would give me 1,100, and then, and she agreed. Okay. Now, the thing that kind of sucked about it is it kind of glitched, and it didn't give me the money. It only gave me $900, and I'm like, I thought we put the trade at 1,200. Wait, no, it was like at wait, yeah, it was. It only gave me 800, and I owed a lot more, a good chunk more than that. So it glitched. Even the game didn't want me to win this. Like this is a scam. Now I try to ask the older cousin, "Oh, do you mind just wiring me a free 200 to help me?" Since it kind of didn't go through, because the thing is, it didn't give the money back. That money is gone. It's just out of there. So there's And then she just says no, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm kind of screwed then, since I have would have nothing else to offer. So I decide, because I had like a few green property left, and I decided, no, I'm not gonna sell my green property. I decided a life without my green property wasn't a life worth living. So I decided to give all of my mortgaged property to to the younger cousin, and I even the green, because the thing is, if you go bankrupt, the person you owe that money to gets all of your cards, get like literally everything. So I decided to give the younger cousin all of my all of my cards, all of my wealth. Since I didn't mention it before, but my brother he got bankrupt right when he landed on that property, and I knew he was screwed. I just knew. So I tell her to win, and I go to brush my teeth since it's really late. By the time we're still playing, it's like a good like 3 a.m. maybe, or close to it. And so I go to brush my teeth, and when I'm done brushing my teeth, I see the younger cousin lost. Oh well, at least I thought it was gonna be some epic 1v1. Like I sacrificed all of my things for the Chancellor to win, and she just loses. And well, that sucked. Since if there's one thing I'd learned from that game of Monopoly, it's I just wasn't uh, power hungry enough, greedy enough of a capitalist. All right, okay, I'm gonna learn from my mistakes. You see, people say video games don't teach you anything, but that's something I learned, and I think that's a pretty good lesson. All right, now, yeah, that should be out. Probably will finish this other layer of the farm, but yeah. Anyways, toodles.